Hello, and welcome back to the Lost Archives. My name's Owen, and we are playing Disco Elysium. Last we left off, we faced off against a mercenary tribunal. Unfortunately, 3 of the Hardy boys perished, but we did survive, and we were able to take out the mercenaries, who were pretty scary. We are now just getting ready to solve the final piece of the puzzle. We explored Classier's room, followed the ballistics, and found that it led to an island, an old crumbling fort up in the north of the Insulindian Bay. So we're going to try and make our way over there. We've been ticking off the last few tasks that we had left to do. Find the murder weapon. I'm thinking we're going to have to head to the island to do that. Find all the armor pieces. We've tried our best. I don't know what any others are. Legs and hat we're missing, I think, if there are legs. Take on la Responsibilité. We could do that first really quickly before we head over to the island. It's only... what time is it in the day? It's only 11:29. I would like to head to the island today. We can't ask the Petanque player about the Maybells. Unfortunately, René died. We've got to head to the island for that one. Find the Insulindian Phasmid. We can't report to Lena. And so go to the island. So let's check in with the church really quickly first, hey? And then we can head on over to the island. So let's head on in and just quickly check in. I figure we may as well get our get that task ticked off, hey? Talk to Suna.
Yes, what is it?
I wasn't kidding earlier about contacting Coalition Warship Archer. Can you help me?
You're asking me to circuit bend onto a coalition radio frequencies. You want to know, is it possible? Probably. But is it a good idea? I'm not sure.
Yeah, but they need to know about the hole in reality.
The main difficulty will be finding an antenna powerful enough to reach those frequencies. Unfortunately, you can't exactly buy NECA long-wave antennas off the shelf.
She's not joking. Even the RCM has to receive special approval from the Coalition to access that kind of equipment.
The radio relay tower at Land's End, could that work?
I highly doubt it. That tower is barely able to transmit shortwave signals across the bay. To generate megalo frequencies, we're going to need a much larger antenna.
Dang.
She has an idea, though. You can see the tiny signal lights firing inside her brain.
I don't see any alternative. We're just going to have to build the antenna ourselves.
Why don't we just use your AR-1?
Because it's a completely different class of antenna. It would be like using a high-end racing carriage where a long-distance lorry is required. We need metal, a lot of it. The taller the structure, the better. Something that is both prominent and easily accessible. If it's near a power source, even better.
All right, I'll try and come up with a site for the mega long-wave radio antenna.
Close your eyes. Unfold your mental map of Martinez. It's morning. You're standing on the plaza before the whirling in rags. The wind pushes a piece of tear across the cracked tiles. From the north comes the malicious laughter of 2 children.
I'll turn to face the bay.
Your eye follows the tiles west. You see a bench and a few twisted, pitiful trees. Then, just water. From behind you, a low, spectral voice whispers, "Nay."
Turn to face the apartments.
Beyond the unkempt backyard rises a monstrous assemblage of concrete, plaster, and corrugated sheet metal.
The statue. The statue's a giant hunk of metal.
The voice again, more urgent now.
Nay. It's the
Just
statue.
a moment. That voice isn't human, and it's not saying nay. It's saying nay.
Face the roundabout.
You turn around. The morning sun is blinding. You bring your hand to your brow, and a great shadow materializes before you. A towering beast, frozen in mid-air.
The horseback monument.
The dead king and his horse. It could work.
It may work, you think, but why do you feel like there may be a terrible cost?
We'll need an adequate power supply and a great quantity of cable. If we connect the cables to some of the stranded lorries, we could theoretically increase the antenna's wavelength exponentially.
Oh, and Ruby's lorry had like really intense radio equipment in it too. I wonder if we could use that.
Whatever ambivalence she had about your project before, she's now fully engaged in solving this technical puzzle.
I'll let her think.
It's completely ridiculous, but I believe we could transform the entire roundabout into one solid fractal antenna.
A note of awe in her voice. She's shocked and pleased by her own audacity.
We shall call it the Herald of Destruction.
What you choose to call it isn't my concern. I'm only here to tell you what's feasible or not from a technical viewpoint.
Fair enough.
I have plenty of cables and amplifiers on hand. The power supply, I will secure on my own. All we require now is the radio transceiver itself.
Where am I supposed to find a radio transceiver?
I cannot answer that for you, but I don't expect it to be that difficult. There's no shortage of radios around here.
Fair enough.
If you have real to spare, you might even be able to buy one. But it doesn't really matter where it comes from, so long as it works.
And before you ask, no, you can't have the radio from Machinima.
You know what, Kim? I'll find an even better radio on my own.
I highly doubt that. When I crank the volume on my dyno wave, it's like you're in the front row at the National Concert Hall.
I didn't know Speed Freaks FM had a concert series.
Joke all you want, detective. Whatever radio you manage to scrounge up won't lay a finger on my setup.
Alright, Kim, challenge accepted.
There is no need to go out of your way to find a top-shelf radio for this purpose. As long as it's functional, that is what counts.
She's going to say no to using the Ream Prefect. We know radio computers have transceivers in them. I think I saw a radio in the office near the harbour.
That sounds like a perfectly adequate radio.
Alright, I guess I need to find one of those transceivers then.
In the meantime, I will gather the rest of the materials. We will meet back here when you have it.
Right, I'll let you work in peace now. Right, I'm going to head to Ruby's lorry, because I reckon Ruby's lorry would absolutely have a radio that is suitable here. We know that she had an incredibly powerful radio. So let's head on in, see what we can find. Oh, it was the green one, wasn't it? Yeah.
A lorry abandoned by its owner, stuck in the interminable traffic jam.
Open the door.
The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals. There's something odd about the passenger seat. The seating fabric has been pulled tight over the lower side of the seat where the toolbox should be.
Remove the radio transmitter. Or transceiver.
It takes a few moments, but eventually the transceiver slides from its greased socket mount with an eminently satisfying ching.
Received highly advanced transceiver. Perfect.
Nearly the same sound produced by the action on a good breech loader. You can't fail to notice. As you take the transceiver in your hands, the lieutenant bites his lower lip, apparently deep in thought.
Sorry, Kim.
Funny, isn't it?
Yeah, sounds just like an old breech loader.
Oh, I didn't mean that. It's just ironic that you are using the lady driver's radio to contact the very authorities you are so keen to evade.
Where the radio used to be, there's just a rectangular shadow now.
That is really ironic, actually. Let's examine the transceiver.
It's about the size of a small box of pasta, but much heavier. Now that you're looking at it more closely, you realize the various dials and meters make it look vaguely like a face. A distinctive triangular logo forms the nose. That's the mark of Estaz Electronica, one of the major manufacturers of advanced radio equipment.
Kim, do you think we'll actually be able to reach the coalition with this?
You've surprised me more than once during the course of our investigation, but I have to say it still seems like a remote scenario.
Come on, Kim. This has got to be better than your Dynawave.
An Esteras is certainly nothing to sniff at, but if you compare the feature sets, I would say they are more or less equivalent.
Fine, it appears we've reached a draw.
So it would appear.
Alright, I'll put the transceiver up. I'm happy to
The
draw.
movie stars are still close the rust.
Let's go. I'm happy to draw with Kim. That's in my mind. That's as good a result as beating him. Kim's my brother, my half brother. I'm not gonna Not going to work too hard at beating him. Alright, let's take this back to Suna. I love how they're all still dancing. Oh, well. I just Egghead and, Adrian? Adrian?
Yes, what is it?
I found a radio transceiver.
Ah, very good. Let's see what you have.
Yeah, someone was using this to coordinate a drug smuggling operation. Use the highly advanced transceiver.
Interesting. An Esterhaus EH4. Heavily customized. This is an advanced model, highly capable. I'll need to replace the frequency dial, but it should certainly work for our purposes.
Perfect.
She's impressed by your resourcefulness as much as by the equipment itself.
Thank you, Suna.
I believe that means we're ready to get started. I should warn you, once we begin setting up this antenna, we'll need to see the whole process through. There won't be any second chances, any do-overs. You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
So if there's anything you'd like to get in order before we depart, I suggest you do it now.
What kind of stuff should I get in order?
That's up to you. At a minimum, I would make sure you are physically and mentally prepared for an intense and difficult process. Once we begin, there can be no interruptions.
We're pretty ready.
At the very least, you should make sure you're wearing a good pair of gloves.
Oh, I am.
Radio engineers typically carry overpriced solvent sprays to clean the antenna connections. But in a pinch, some common ammonia works just fine. Finally, there's the question of stimulants. Some people prefer to keep illegal amphetamines on hand to help with their work. I'm not one of them, but they do exist.
I try to avoid drugs. Abusing stimulants is highly irresponsible.
I don't take them because they make me nauseous. But everyone has their reasons. I don't judge.
Wait, didn't you say we needed some kind of power supply?
Ah, yes. I wasn't sure what to do about that, but then I discovered an abandoned power source down by the edge of the bay.
It's obvious. She's referring to your half-sunken Caprice 40.
You mean the motor carriage that I crashed into the bay?
Oh, yes. I did notice that it was covered in police livery. Then you already know that the carriage itself is irreparable. But the rear-mounted engine seems to be in fine working order.
Well, at least something good came out of the crashed car.
My intention is to run a power cable from the engine up to the antenna. It won't last forever, but it should give us enough time to establish a connection with Coalition Warship Archer.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Very good. If you'll help me with some of this equipment then.
Back across the waterlock. At least we are getting our exercise in today.
If you'll please carry that amplifier, officer. And if you'll take that spool of cable, we should be able to move it all in one trip.
Okay. Okay. Let's see what happens here. So we're trying to contact the moral intern and the Coalition to basically let them know about the hole in reality. Probably worth doing. Well, that's really cool. Okay, well, at least the Kanema's getting a or the Capri 40 is getting a function assigned to it. Is that a tire being used to transmit the power? Oh my goodness, this looks so haphazard. Is that a power board? This is hilarious. Oh, that's so funny. And we've moved some cars out of the way too. Okay.
And now if you'll just connect that here...
It's done. I believe we are ready.
The lieutenant wipes his brow.
We're ready to try at least. Please put on these headphones. There should be 2 extra sets. I've configured the channels so that only your microphone is set to broadcast, officer. We'll all be able to listen, but anyone we reach will only hear your voice.
Okay.
You will need to transmit your connection request while I attempt to locate the warship's public frequency. You will likely encounter some interference, but it's important to keep transmitting your request until you're acknowledged. Ready?
Well, if they never acknowledge me, then we just come down. Easy. Yeah, I'm ready.
Good. Beginning transmission.
A soft rustling. Between your ears, a winterscape with fast falling snow.
Where's that sound coming from?
Every light switch, every motor carriage, every doorbell, tea kettle, and radio in Martinez, all mingled with electrical interference caused by scattered thunderstorms over Ozone.
We're picking up everything right now.
Officer? Are you in order? We're waiting for you to start.
Coalition Warship Archer, this is Lieutenant Hardwired of the RCM. Please acknowledge.
You're all alone out there, wandering a blasted heath, calling out to the night. But there is no reply, except for the buzzing of invisible machines. The lieutenant looks up at you with a nervous glance. He is nervous for your sake, of course, but also his own.
What's Kim worried is going to happen?
Looking at him now, with both hands on his headphones, you see very briefly what the lieutenant must have been like when he first joined the RCM. Then he turns to you. He gives you a half smile, along with an almost imperceptible nod of encouragement.
Thank you, Kim.
Try again, officer.
Coalition Warship Archer, this is Lieutenant Dubois. Please acknowledge.
Perhaps you're simply imagining it, but it seems as though you're learning to pull apart the fibers of this auditory felt. You focus on one strand in particular, one that sounds very nearly human.
Nein, Liebling, das lasse ich nicht zu. Wie kannst du unseren Jungen bloß auf einen dieser Dinger nach Bredefort schicken?
That is German. Hello, Archer, do you acknowledge?
Marianne, mir erzählt, dass Oscar nicht mehr, seit er auf einem Luftschiff aus Graz zurückgekommen ist. Halten ihn die Psychologen für vollkommen normal. Aber sie hat das Gefühl, seit seiner Rückkehr einem Fremden zusammenzuleben.
I'm going to have to look up the translation for this later. That's really... I'd love to know what they're saying.
Something about her son going to Vredefort on an aerostatic to see some psychologists. Or maybe it's the psychologists saying it's normal to have feelings for strangers. Foreign languages were never your strong suit.
Suna, is this more of that intraplanetic crosstalk?
Liebling, bitte. Er ist unser einziges Kind. Er kann doch auch nächstes Jahr zur Akademie gehen.
It's very likely, based on what we've recently learned. Give me a moment while I attempt to narrow the receiving mode. In the meantime, you must keep trying.
Coalition Warship Archer, this is Lieutenant Dubois. If you're there, Archer, please acknowledge.
Again?
Coalition Warship Archer, Lieutenant Dubois, do you acknowledge?
It's cold now.
What?
A slight frisson at the point where your neck meets your spine. Something about the lieutenant's words directed at you, but not you.
What are you talking about, Kim? It's perfectly nice out.
I didn't say anything, Detective.
Someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
An uncomfortable silence falls over the connection.
We're hearing Kim's voice from the past.
It's been a long winter. Long and cold.
Are you going to tell me you didn't say that either?
I promise you I didn't, even though it certainly sounds like me.
The lieutenant seems to wince at the sound of his own voice. That's very believable. We go through life hearing our voice through bone conduction, so it always sounds a bit higher when we hear it played back than what we're used to hearing. So we always find hearing our own voice played back a little bit uncomfortable, because it doesn't sound like what we associate our voice to sound like. Could this be more intraplanetic crosstalk?
Yes. A particularly eerie specimen, but still just a harmless piece of the past returning to surface.
It's a bit spooky.
Right. I just wish I could remember what I was talking about.
Natürlich halten ihn die Psychologen für vollkommen normal.
So what can we do about it?
What else is there to do? Keep trying.
Coalition Warship Archer, do you acknowledge this is Lieutenant Dubois?
But someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Oh, this is so spooky.
Dubois, please acknowledge.
Archer, this is Lieutenant Dubois. Can you hear me?
Liebling, bitte. Er ist unser
Damn it.
einziges Kind.
We got them though.
Warship Archer, please identify.
The signals are getting increasingly mixed. Plucking Archer's signal from this will be like isolating a single strand from a tangle of hair.
Damn it. 18 interfacing. I think we're a bit far off that, aren't we? Well, exactly 6 points off that. Actually, oh, we've got 4 points. No.
It's not working. The crosstalk is simply too strong.
What can we do?
I did not expect simply locating the signal to be so difficult.
She appears to be concentrating very intently.
We must consider several variables. Local anthroponetic conditions, the sophistication of our transceiver, the quality of our connections, and the physics of our antenna itself. Fortunately, we have a more than adequate transceiver, so I do not believe it is causing any problems.
Okay, so in that case then it's anthroponetic conditions we can't control. Then it's just the quality of the connection and the physics of the antenna. It's going to be the antenna. It's going to be the antenna.
And we're also unlikely to change our local anthroponetic conditions. So, the next step is to thoroughly inspect our connections.
How am I supposed to inspect the connections?
You need to climb up there and look at them for yourself.
She stares at you as though it were obvious. Her hand gestures to the colourful cables dangling from the horse's forehooves.
But you don't have the technical expertise.
Someone has been maintaining it.
What?
No problem at all. You've already teleported up way greater heights.
Kim just said that out. That wasn't the radio Kim, was it? Or maybe it was supposed to be the radio Kim, but they didn't have the radio filter on. That was terrifying. That's true, we did teleport up way greater heights.
Something about this setup seems dimly familiar. But you'll be damned if you know what you're supposed to do about it. Images of your body smashed against the pavement flood your mind. This is dangerous.
No problem, I've already mastered the art of teleportation.
You actually haven't, but you have proven that you are a relatively capable climber.
Sooner, I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing with the cables and connections, though.
That's true, but I can't leave my station, so it will have to be you.
Alright, let's do this. I'm not going to ask what if I slip and fall. The answer will be, will you slip and fall? Alright, let's do this. I don't want to hurt our morale. Oh, here we go. Oh god. There better not be any physical instrument checks, because I will fail them. My physical instrument is not great. And I don't think we can level ourselves up anymore. Oh, this is so cool. I have to say, I do really like the horse monument in the act of being blown up. That was very funny and very nihilistic. I'm a big fan. Oh god. This is really cool.
Your gloves give you a solid grip on the metal bar. This feels pleasingly familiar. You don't exactly cut a lithesome figure, but after several moments of scrambling, you manage to hoist yourself atop the monument.
It's not very graceful, but hey, we're here. Sitting on Philippe's chest. No, standing on his chest.
That performance was frankly an embarrassment.
That was pretty bad. I hope nobody saw it.
You're doing all right, detective. Just keep your focus on the task at hand.
Let's examine the connections.
The connection itself is nothing more than a little braid of exposed wire wrapped about the hoof of the horse. A copper fetter it cannot slip. The whole monument is covered in a thin but durable layer of oil and grime. It's obvious no one has cleaned it in years.
That's what's blocking the connection.
The programmer mentioned ammonia, but anything alcoholic should dissolve the oils, creating a cleaner and clearer connection.
We've got alcohol. Pour some alcohol over the connections.
It takes a few moments, but the alcohol gradually begins to break down the oils surrounding the copper wiring.
Is this really the time, Detective?
It's all right, Lieutenant. He's simply cleaning the connections.
Once the oils have been dissolved, you wipe off the connections with your sleeve and reattach the cable.
Did that help, Suna?
It seems to have made some difference, but unfortunately not enough to alter the overall situation.
Dang.
Unser einziges Kind. Kann doch auch nächstes Jahr zur Akademie gehen. Short of changing the shape of the antenna, I'm not sure what else we can do from here. And the lorries are all jammed together, so that's unlikely to happen.
What would changing the shape of the antenna do?
I
how do we change the shape of the antenna?
What do you mean? You adjust the antenna manually, with your hands. I'm afraid we're out of alternatives. You're just going to have to go for it.
She's right. The responsibility is yours, and yours alone. There's no turning back now.
Let's look at the rider.
You are face to face with Philip III. The Bronze King looks toward the west. Something about his features seems bizarrely distorted. Not intentionally. It's a matter of perspective. The king was never meant to be seen from such an angle as you've attained.
All right, let's look at the horse.
This faithful steed is in nearly as poor a condition as its rider.
We're not looking down, but we will look up.
A clear sky. The kind of day where anything might happen. Across the river, you can see Coalition Warship Archer tracing its gradual circuit above Revachol East.
Let's give it a go. We've only got one go at this. Should we bump up our interfacing? Got 2 points. Could bump it up to... Let's do 1. 72%. That's pretty good. That's pretty good odds. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, dear.
You allow the broken hunk of metal to clatter to the ground. It wasn't clear to you it did anything anyway.
Nein, Liebling. What are you doing? The connection is even worse now. This is extremely unprofessional.
Sorry, I was trying to do good.
But you didn't. You made things worse.
She's right. This was your responsibility.
Damn it. I'm going to push the power supply. I doubt it will last more than a few minutes, so you'd better make them count.
A maelstrom of sound, swirling and swirling around an invisible point. It's mounting. Mounting.
Nicht mehr derselbe ist, seit er auf einem Luftschiff aus Grab zurückgekommen ist. Lieutenant Dubois, please respond.
It's too much. Your eardrums are throbbing, about to burst.
A long winter, long and cold.
And then, nothing.
Try it now.
Coalition Warship Archer, this is Lieutenant Harrier Dubois of the RCM. Please acknowledge.
This is Warship Archer. We are acknowledging and accepting you. Though we're still getting quite a bit of interference.
This is the best we can do. I suggest you get to your business quickly. I doubt I'll be able to maintain even this connection very long.
This is it. You're finally getting to speak with those who hold real power. And by that they mean the ones with the guns and the warships. There is so much you wish you could ask, but you probably only have time for 1 or 2 questions before the signal is lost.
Please be advised that you are speaking on a public frequency. What is your request?
When is real democracy coming to Revachol?
We can assure you, it is coming as soon as possible.
Within my lifetime?
Oh, most likely. Though, of course, it depends on the contingencies.
What do you mean contingencies?
You must understand, the moral intern is responsible for ensuring the continuance and flourishing of mankind for the next 3,000 years. The planning division must account for a great many possible outcomes and chance events. Fortunately, we have contingency spreads to help guide our decision-making. Of course, there is no one spread that can reasonably account for all these possible events. But at least, we're able to prepare for the most likely eventualities.
So where does Revachol fit into these contingencies?
That's impossible to say. It may be that Revachol has a great role to play, or no role at all. That is the nature of contingencies.
But didn't the Wild Pines representative say that Revachol would resolve history?
You must understand, When we speak of contingency spreads, we are talking about the most fantastically complex data visualization human beings are capable of producing, with thousands of events, from elections and wars to natural disaster or scientific miracles, and millions of possible outcomes.
So if you can't accurately predict for the future, because you can't accurately predict for the future, what's the point of doing that high level of calculation? Wouldn't it be better to do a more generalized calculation?
It makes your brain swell just to think about it.
It may be the case that, under certain scenarios, Revachol is vitally important, as it was during the collision landings in '08. It may also be the case, in many other equally plausible scenarios, that Revachol is simply another once great city, like countless others throughout history.
Did she just admit that the Coalition invading Revachol was one of those contingencies?
He's saying the Coalition invasion was one of those contingencies.
No, well, not quite. The Marlinter never intends to violate another nation's sovereignty. That would be a serious violation of international law. But one must consider that the world was in the midst of a global catastrophe brought on by an unstoppable pandemic. No amount of contingency planning could account for all of that.
So you're saying the moral intern had to make difficult decisions during an unprecedented situation?
Yes, we would say that is a fair and reasonable way to describe it. For this reason, responsibility for developing contingency spreads is only assigned to highly trained analysts working with advanced radio computers and a steady supply of drones.
Okay. How do I access my personal contingency spread?
Even though we are only a second signaler, we can tell you with great certainty that there is no contingency spread for you, Lieutenant Dubois.
What do you mean?
Simply that there is no such thing as an individual contingency spread. Please understand, we are not some totalitarian enterprise. We are committed to and bound by the highest values of individual freedom and opportunity.
Yeah, okay, that does sound like a moderate and reasonable way to organize a society.
It is a work in progress, but it is also the best way that humanity has found thus far.
I'm not joking, officer. I'll only be able to hold the signal open for a few
Okay,
more
yeah, fair
moments.
enough.
What you came here to ask it now.
Is everything all right?
Listen, I really need to reach the Committee of Responsibility.
Acknowledged. To reach the committee, all you need to do is fill out the appropriate request form and submit it to the Liaison for Public Affairs. If the liaison accepts your request, you will be invited to address the committee at their next quarterly public hearing. We believe the next hearing is scheduled for July.
What if I need to reach the committee a bit sooner?
Not a problem. If this is a time-sensitive matter, you may file an emergency address request with the Liaison for Public Affairs. They typically respond within a few weeks.
Let's give it a go.
This isn't about you. Not really. It may have been at a certain point, but you've let go of that perspective. This is about your responsibility to all of Revachol. Now, take a deep breath. Look upward. You don't have to bear the burden alone.
Listen to me. The situation in Martinez is extremely dire. People are getting killed, and if the Coalition doesn't intervene, more will follow.
What? How do you know this?
I was recently caught in a violent confrontation between the Union and a group of mercenaries hired by the Wild Pines.
Lieutenant Dubois, this is a very serious claim. Please describe the situation as succinctly as possible. We will forward your summary to the committee.
There's papers rustling in the background. She's clearing her desk, preparing to take notes. There, you've wedged your foot in the door. Now, if you can show the Coalition how much they're needed, they'll have no choice but to intervene. You have the facts. Just lay them out beneath the cold light of reason.
The Wild Pines completely failed to control the paramilitary death squad they hired.
Please continue. We're listening.
And now there are multiple casualties on both sides of the conflict. The harbour's locked down, the Wild Pines rep is gone. It's very bad.
Good God. Is there anything else the committee should know?
You hear the sound of a page turning, followed by fierce scribbling.
Detective, before you answer that, I urge you to weigh your words extremely carefully.
You're not only speaking for yourself. He means to tell you, you're speaking for all of the RCM. What you say now will reflect on all of your half-brothers and sisters. The lieutenant is afraid you're going to say something too outre.
I have to tell them about the intrakinetic phenomenon, right? I've also discovered an intrakinetic phenomenon here in Martinez.
We're afraid we must ask you to repeat that, Lieutenant Dubois.
Afraid? What is she afraid of? Her tone has shifted. She's no longer herself. She's reading from a script. Your words have activated some sort of procedure.
What? I said I've discovered an intrakinetic phenomenon here in Martinez.
Acknowledged. Listen very carefully, Lieutenant. We're going to ask you a series of questions. It is imperative that you answer as directly and truthfully as you can. Do you understand?
Do they know? Oh my god, what if they know? Oh shit, am I going to be silenced for this?
Good. First question. Are you currently in the vicinity of Surrey, the North Arcade Islands, or near Pale Offshore Platform Insula Indico?
They know. They know about these. They know they exist. No, I'm in Martinez.
Very good. Next question. Would you describe the phenomenon as internal to the Isola or external to the Isola?
They already know.
What she means is, actually, you have no idea what those words could mean in this context.
I have no idea what you're asking.
Answer the question, please.
Internal. It's inside the Isola.
Next question. At the time, did you experience sense objects?
Could you elaborate?
Yes. Examples may include sound, memory, light.
It was a kind of gradient.
Let's go on. Final question. Were you alone?
Yes, unquestionably, irrevocably alone. Of course not. The radio programmer was there. How could you be alone? You're a star, man. You've got an entourage and adoring fans wherever you go. You are part of a large family. You are never alone. There's no need to overthink this.
We repeat. Were you alone?
No.
You hear the sound of a page ripping.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Please stand by while we transmit our summary.
A long winter.
I'm not sure how much longer I can keep the signal clear, officer.
You have to sooner, just a little longer.
Lieutenant Dubois, this is Collision Warship Archer. Please acknowledge.
I'm here. Yep, I'm here.
Thank you for standing by. We are authorized to report the Committee of Responsibility for Rebasho has acknowledged and accepted your request. They would like you to address your matter to the committee directly, as their earliest convenience.
When is that? I'm kind of in the middle of a murder investigation.
Local matters can wait. Collision Shuttle Laurel is setting a course for your position. They will arrive momentarily. Stand by.
To the southwest, one of the smaller aerostatics that hover above the city breaks from its holding pattern. Coalition Shuttle Laurel begins executing a slow turn, drawn by an invisible wire.
So? They're really coming?
The lieutenant adjusts his microphone and slowly looks up toward you.
Well, what now?
What do you mean?
You've accomplished your side task. You've contacted Coalition Warship Archer. I suppose what I'm asking is whether we're about to lose you to the moral intern.
No.
Beneath that surface query, a touch of self-doubt. The lieutenant isn't sure he can solve the murder without you.
I'm afraid, Kim.
Afraid of what, detective?
A little rhyme jingling in your mind's attic. Of the future, of the past, of all that is not made to last.
I feel that something very bad is going to happen.
The lieutenant takes a moment to compose his thoughts.
I don't know where this case will lead us, detective. But in a sense, that doesn't matter. Our job is to follow the evidence where it leads. Consequences be damned. Because that's what it means to be an officer of the RCM.
The lieutenant's final words are nearly swallowed by the roar of the aerostatic's main rotors.
Lieutenant Dubois, this is Collision Warship Archer. We have been instructed to inform you that the Laurel arrived at your position. Please acknowledge.
Oh my god, I can see the shadow of it above us.
No shit. How are they supposed to hear your acknowledgement over the thundering of their own rotors?
Acknowledged, Archer. This is Lieutenant Dubois.
Thank you. The Committee of Responsibility for Rebel has authorized us to offer you an immediate extraction. Do you accept?
Hold on, I have a few questions first.
We are far past that point, Lieutenant. There is only one question now. Are you ready, or are you not?
No, we need to solve the murder. No, I can't do it.
Repeat that, Lieutenant. What do you mean, you can't?
It's my case.
Are you being impeded in some way?
It's my case. I've got to see it through.
We have to say, this is extremely disappointing to hear, Lieutenant. What the consequences will be for your refusal to accept responsibility, we cannot say. For your sake, we pray they are not more than we all can bear.
I think I made a mistake. I thought the right thing to do would be to stay on the case.
And now, we are updating our frequencies. We will not speak again. This connection will be cleared in 4, 3...
Sorry, Archer.
2, 1... Après le monde, le gris.
And the line goes quiet. The lieutenant gives a long sigh as he removes his headphones. There's relief on his face as he turns toward you.
I think it's best for you to climb off the statue now, Detective. Your real work is done here.
Yeah, you're right. I'll climb
Good.
down.
Now give me a hand with these amplifiers. Leave the cables. I don't feel like making 2 trips.
What's one more trip across the waterlock?
Oh, we got an achievement for that. Committee of Responsibility. Someone should do something about that.
Well, this was an interesting collaboration.
We make a pretty good team sooner.
Perhaps. You're more reliable than the writers I used to work with. Though, that is not a difficult part to clear. In any event, just leave that equipment here. I'll put it away later. If you'd like, you can take one of the extra headsets. I don't need so many spares.
Oh.
Now, you'll excuse me. I have to get back to my own work.
Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your Copo type.
Wait, there are Copo types.
Yes. Guess what's yours?
I was kind of hoping I'm the Apocalypse cop.
That is only a ludicrous daydream. Guess again. You're the...
Cool cop?
No, you're the sorry cop. The cop who's sorriest. Let's make it official then, shall we? Huge lack of enthusiasm going on in here.
Won't the other Copo types be jealous?
What? Jealous of the sorry cop? I think they'll be fine. Don't worry. They'll be super, super fine. It'll be totally okay. You can dual Copo type from sorry to anything.
You know, actually, I'm not sorry. I changed my mind.
No, you don't. Come on. You'll be back to saying sorry in 2 minutes. Stop wasting time and begin the repentance.
No, I'm really not sorry. Fuck off.
Wow. Okay. Fuck off. Maybe we were wrong about you then.
What was that? Well, at least we can, +2 Inland Empire, -1 reaction speed. What's our current hat giving us? +2 logic. Yeah, that'd take our Inland Empire up to 8, which would be kind of insane. I do want to take it up to... no, we'll leave it. We'll see what we need it. Okay. Well, that was... I'm pleased we did that, but I'm worried we made very much the wrong decision. I guess all that's left to do now is to follow up on the case. Let's head to the fishing village and let's make our way over to the island. Let's chat to our friend along the water here. What's her name again?
Officer, what happened? You're limping. Why are you limping? You look terrible.
You're not limping. You're you. She sounds almost disappointed with you. Reprimanding you for falling and hurting your knee.
I got shot in the foot. It was pretty badass. You would have liked it.
Is this from the shooting in town? We heard gunshots. Not that we don't hear gunshots all the time, but they were closer than usual.
There was an exchange of fire on Rue de Saint-Guylaine. It's nothing to be worried about, madame.
You didn't only get shot.
I dodged the second shot. I can also get not shot.
Well, good for you.
I'm not going to say you should see the other guys. They're all dead. That's insane. I've got a question for you, Lillian.
Of course. Can I help you with something?
Kim's presence makes it awkward. We need to get to the island.
That won't be a problem. It's wind still and the tar just dried. We've got 2 days of relative sunshine ahead.
What's on the island? I saw some kind of ruins through the binoculars.
Used to be some kind of fortification there before the war. For the communards. An anti-aircraft gun, I think. Bombed to bits in the landing. I haven't been there myself. Always steered clear of it.
Hasn't been there herself. Who has then?
Oh, you just said you haven't been there yourself. Who has then, if not you?
My husband used to drink there. Him and his drinking buddies. Always seemed like a bad place to drink to me. People died there during the landing, you know. My mother told me.
This must be one of the many fortifications that was used in the dying days of the revolution against coalition forces before they took this city.
The kids sometimes go there too. I know they do, on rafts. I tell them not to, but they bring back old bullet casings and such.
We need to go talk to these kids. Which kids?
The twins. God forbid they bring the girl along on some rickety barge.
We're definitely going to go talk to them.
Can we maybe ask your twins about that place before we go? Would that be alright?
Be my guest. They've a strange way of talking. See if you can get anything useful out of them. I seldom do.
Could we borrow your boat?
If you promise to bring it back. And no scraping the hull. I just got it nice and yellow.
Fair.
And no drinking on the boat.
Fair.
And no joyriding either.
Fair.
Of course, ma'am. It's only for a day or two. Official police business.
Aye.
I'll nod along attentively.
The crow's feet disappear from the corners of her eyes as she smiles at you.
Is there anything I should know about getting there?
Well, most of it's sunken. Underwater. That means concrete underwater. Cut your boat if you're not careful. Be sure to enter from the south side. Water's deep there.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Thank you. We'll use your skiff to get there then.
Please be conservative with the fuel, will you? Just filled her up, but it's a small tank.
Fair. Be seeing you. Right, before we get on the boat, we need to talk to those two kids. Because if they've seen anyone else on the island, if they've got any information, that's vital.
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone while the other watches him do it.
Alright, kids, you've been to the island, right?
On that island?
The one who's busy kicking his stone points to the bay. Yeah, that one. I need to know what's there.
That's, nothing. It's just a seafort and some plants. You can take a raft there. It's great. And we make a fire. We make a fire. Gather the sticks for the fire. And bullets. Or not real bullets.
Casings.
Empty bullets.
Bullet shells. There are a lot of them left over from the war, but this could be important.
Wait, you mean shells?
I don't know what these are.
What then?
They're lights. The fire guy comes and asks us to put the fire out.
The fire guy.
Your nerve endings sting from the mention of a guy. They must mean a human being on that island, but it's cut off.
Someone lives on the island.
No.
The boy answers, shaking his head vehemently.
Yes.
Oh God. His brother looks at him, then at you.
Let's go with yes.
The lieutenant raises his eyebrows and whips out his notebook. Why is he the fire guy?
Because
The boy pauses to think.
he asks to put the fire out.
Why does he ask you to put the fire out?
I don't know. He doesn't like it. He don't like people to be there. You shouldn't go. Yes.
The other one adds laconically, standing with his hands glued to his sides like a little tin soldier.
Because he doesn't want to be found. Smoke traces.
You mentioned something about lights.
I don't know.
Did you mean there are electrical lights?
He points to the street light.
Yes.
Is there anything else you can tell me about this guy? Age? Does he live there?
No, he doesn't live there. I don't think. No, he lives there. Been there twice, 2 times. He doesn't live there. He isn't there sometimes.
Anything else? What does this guy look like?
I don't know.
How come?
We ran. He just yelled we shouldn't be there.
Your father used to go to that island too, didn't he?
Our father killed himself. Don't say that, he didn't.
His brother punches him. The boy's eyes well up like he's about to start crying. Your father did not kill himself.
I don't know.
The boy who made the claim finds himself unsure of it. He looks around.
Doesn't even have anything to do with this, you. Father isn't the fire guy.
The two things are unconnected. Your question didn't make sense.
Okay, fair. Is that all you know? Is there anything more you can tell me about the island?
There's
The boy says, rubbing his eye. It's clear that he has no intention of finishing the sentence.
Lights, fire guy. We should check up on that island.
Yep. Yes, we should. Yes, we absolutely should. How do we take the boat? Do we have to talk to... We have to talk to Lillian about it, do we? That makes sense.
Be careful out there. Sea's calm.
Okay. Or is the boat already in the water? Ah, it's already in the water. It's this boat. That makes sense. Let's go on over to the island.
With a small steering engine in the back floats on the calm mirror of the sea. Its 2 seats are empty. Once you get in, that's it. One pull of the starter handle, and you're off into the bay. A strange trepidation comes over you. Are you sure you want to go now? Have you made all the necessary preparations? Closed all your accounts? Remember what the net picker said. It's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this.
Okay, let's just double check we've got everything organized. I'll just do a quick check and make sure we've got everything we need. Let's have a little look. Alrighty, had a quick look through our inventory, went over some of the stuff. There's nothing else we need to do.
The skiff floats on the calm mirror of the sea. Once you get in, that's it. Have you made all the necessary preparations? Remember what the net picker said. It's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this.
You take the engine, Kim. I'll hold the boombox.
What?
What? How else are we going to blast Sad FM on our way to the island?
Fine. Let's blast Sad FM then.
Sad FM is a radio station specializing in sad, slow rock songs. You seem to know its frequency by heart.
Let's get in and ride to the island. I love that Kim is now just on board with our shenanigans. So, we've had a lot of interesting twists and turns in the case. I'm not 100% convinced that Classier isn't involved. I mean, it's super suspicious that she was out of here just before the mercenary tribunal started. I also have just noticed, I don't know if you've noticed, but the engine on this boat looks a lot like a toilet. So that's beside the point. I mean, I do find it suspicious that Classier knew that they were coming. We know that she was playing us. We know that she was lying to us. We know that she was able to convince Kim as well. The question I'm sort of faced with at the moment is, who else could it be? Right? Like, we know the shot came from the island. We know that there's someone here, but is it someone we know? Is it someone new? Are we going to find out that Ruby was actually involved all along? Although I find it very hard to believe it. I found Ruby's story really quite convincing, to be honest. I also just want to say how beautiful this bay is with all the floating chunks of sea ice. Oh, and then there's the old church. Well, I guess the Disco Elysium now. Wow, it's really pretty in this sort of most old, sinister way. I love the moss growing on the roof. Oh, look, there's a ladder. Oh, could we have gotten up there somehow? Oh, man, I wonder if we could have actually gotten up. Ah, never mind. Look, it's okay. That's not a problem. Maybe we'll get a chance to come back and do a bit more exploring afterwards. I'm hoping that we find some hints about the Insulindian phasmid, because although I'm worried that by not reporting back to Lena, because we've missed out on that, we might have actually lost our chance to find out the full story there. Unfortunately, that's okay. Look, that's all right. This will be a mystery for you to solve if you get around to playing this game. Or if it's a mystery you want me to solve, let me know, and I'll go back and reload an earlier save, and we'll jump in and show off that little bit. If there's any things that we've significantly missed, I'll have a bit of a look in, and I'll make sure we go back and record as many of them as I can. And maybe I'll chuck them up as a little short if there's anything we've missed. Look at the oil slick coming out of the harbour there. Wow, this island is way bigger than I was expecting. Look at the massive concrete blockades. They sort of look like angular, triangular shapes blocking the bay. I guess that's to stop boats landing during the invasion, but the coalition used airships. Wow, this island's huge. Okay, and there's lots of reeds, so maybe we will get a chance to track down what happened with the Insulindian phasmid here.
The boat comes to a slow stop. The lieutenant turns the engine off. Then there's silence.
Oh, yeah. I've just realized that probably the sound of the engines attracted any attention if there is someone still here. Ah, look, that's all right. That's okay.
In the silence, a sputter of wings. A flock of quails takes off in the distance.
Interesting.
There is very little wind here today. The ghost is standing still. You look at your arms, then the cliffs above you. Let's go.
All right, let's climb out. I've just realized in hindsight, maybe blasting Sad FM while we make our way over to the island wasn't the best idea. Now, we've got so many points. I'm going to level up a whole bunch of them to level 7, which will mean we start passing the heroic checks. The ones that we're sort of using the most of. And I'll leave one behind. Yeah, I want to get a whole bunch of them to 7. Just so that we start picking up on more things. A makeshift bridge. The bombs were powerful enough to break the foundation. The rusted chain trails off into the ocean.
The chain trails off into the ocean, connecting the island to the supply depot on the coast.
This leads to the depot on Land's End.
Ah, yes, so it seems.
What do you think it was used for?
For bringing munitions to the island, maybe? And supplies? You could also lock the bay when you raise the chain.
As a defensive measure, lock it off that side of the bay.
Lock it from whom?
From enemies. Enemies of the commune of Revachol. This sea fort was a revolutionary fortification, I believe.
I was going to quickly check our thought cabinet. 15 hours. I don't think we're not going to do that before the end of today. That'll be a thought we complete tomorrow. Let's head on around here, see if there's anything here to explore. I do want to check up there. These tires are falling apart. They're at least 50 years old. Can't go around that way. Let's head up here. I wanted to figure out what the oil was for, but I don't think we can. Oh, hello. Hang on. These stairs feel ancient. Soldiers' feet ran up them long ago. Attention. Inflammable. There's a lingering trace of mazout in the air. Some fuel has leaked out of the barrel. Black and viscous. Ah, okay. That's where the fuel's coming from above. Okay. Cool.
The dry grass crackles under your feet as you stop. Far away, birds' wings touch the still surface of the sea.
What is that flutter?
The flock of quail departs. Now more than 100 meters away. 102, 105.
Underneath the flutter.
On the islet, there is almost no wind. Just the light movement of air through the reeds. Bulrushes swaying on the waterline. Long dried leaves chafing against each other. Like a silent orchestra tuning at the beginning of some major work. of great importance to the few who attend.
Got shivers again. To the west?
A silent hiss. See air moving through the needles of a pine tree.
To the east?
The faraway roar of the city, distant like today's dream. Before it, the sound of sand. The low tide filtered through its grains. A bird tending to its feathers.
Ahead?
A low hum. The air slowly moves through a concrete box, through its ancient slits and cracks, resonating, hollow. A big building.
Beyond that, further north.
Air flows out of a pillbox window. There is very little there. The air cossets flowers on a meadow. Absolute silence. Reeds motionless. Bulrushes motionless.
And below the silence?
Col de Mamadakwa.
Col de Mamadakwa. Kim?
Yes?
Momentarily, the sounds are swept away. Pain shoots up your right foot and into your groin.
Have you noticed how quiet it is, Kim?
I have. Is that why we're stopping?
Wait, I have to listen to one more thing.
The lieutenant nods in silence.
Okay, no. Interesting. Let's have a look around here first, then we'll head inside. Oh, hang on. Pain thresholds are not happy with me. Warm air from inside the building. It's warmer there than out here. The little birch from the coin-operated viewer. Still holding on. No way to get up there. The stairs are gone. Into the bunker we go. Oh, there's lots of things in here. Okay. Oh, we're up here. Okay. Careful. These stairs have collapsed. This was once an armament rest. Twin cannons were attached here. Medium distance. Large caliber.
An old cylindrical generator is nested above the ammo lift, with makeshift electrical wiring running out of its side and across the floor. The cables disappear into the wall to your right. The lieutenant puts his hand on the metal barrel, checking for warmth.
It's cold now, but someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Wait, haven't you heard this before?
Where do these wires lead? Oh my god, that's what the lieutenant... That's what he said. That's what we heard when we were doing the... Oh my goodness, that's what we heard him say during the intermittent crosstalk. We heard Kim from the future. Where do these wires lead?
Downstairs, somewhere?
What kind of generator is this?
Liquid carbon. I would imagine it takes mazout.
He points to the open fuel cap on the side of the dynamo.
The kind that's favored by vagrants and fuel thieves. It's been a long winter.
The lieutenant pauses. Something seems to be pecking at the edge of his concentration. He gives you a sideways look before adding,
Long and cold.
Oh, yep.
There's no time to dwell on this moment. You've got to keep moving.
I'll tap on the side.
A hollow ring. The canister is empty. Dust falls from the generator and down into the ammo lift.
What does this mean, a generator here?
I don't know. I'm not a philosopher.
That is his idea of a joke.
Say nothing.
The wind outside picks up suddenly with a faint howl. Inside, it's warm.
Alright, let's leave that be for the moment. Someone has been living here. Look, there's a bed. Books. Mostly fantastique and historical fiction. Dishes stained with sauce and fire. A survivor's kitchen. Found arrower shirt. I'll take that. Oh god, is that a sniper's nest? You see candles planted on a broken rangefinder. A moth-bitten bedsheet keeps the wind out.
Books and magazines lie scattered on the floor and on a makeshift cupboard. They are not particularly well organized.
I will sift through them.
Most are soft covers, serialized fantastique and detective stories from the 20s and 30s. This disparate digest includes the classic Animal Adventures, popular depictions of man versus nature by amateur naturalists T&T Harpin, husband and wife, widely read by people from all walks of life. Who doesn't like nature? Who doesn't want to survive?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Among what is mostly commercial fiction and serialized stories, you find a magazine cathodique for electrical engineering. Then it's back to pulp. Light erotica, an international thriller about circuit benders.
Someone's made themselves a home.
Does anything stand out as unusual? Hang on. Have we got anything to raise our conceptualization? We must do. I'd love to pass this after I just dumped a whole bunch of points that I now can't use anymore. Let's get that conceptualization up even higher. I don't think there's any other ones we needed to boost, or any other ones we have to boost conception, are there? No, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Yeah, cool. Right, let's give it up. Sorry, that one. Let's give it a go.
Soft covers, serialized fantastique and detective stories, animal adventures, a magazine for it. Not that you can tell.
Damn.
This is a digest of someone who's dead bored. Most of it is for entertainment purposes, fittingly right next to the radiola on the floor.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Maybe it's a little old-fashioned. There's a nude mag. More than that, you can't say.
Dang.
The print in some of these is pretty small, though. This person has good eyesight.
Alright, we could bump up our visual calculus. No, conceptualization. We could bump it up one more, then we're out of points. That's it. That means we can't recheck any other white checks. No, I'll leave it be. Damn, tell you what, I do regret making that hasty move before to dump all of our points. Oh well. I should look at the bed too, actually. +2 empathy, army surplus, winter scarf.
There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner, resting on piles of soft cover books. White linen and a pillow are visible under a worn-out caracal blanket.
Someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh, recently washed.
How recently?
A flash of pain interrupts you, making you wince instead of letting the words out.
Damn it.
You know, officer, you can rest here if you are feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead.
Maybe just a little shut-eye, just an hour. Yeah, I'll take a little sleep.
You face the concrete wall. There's less light there, in the dark corner. Like a dog, you lie there.
Curl up with your knees close to your chest.
The blanket feels cold. The entire room does. Concrete and cold. Minutes pass. Half an hour, maybe. The sounds of the sea beyond grow distant. Your eyelids close. Until
you
feel yourself standing up in the darkness, right next to the mattress. Slowly, the world begins to hatch from the blackness. It's evening.
Okay, I wonder if that healed us. That'd be great if it
Sleep.
did. Oh yeah, it is. It's a little bit later. Hopefully that's given us a little bit of health back, hey? Oh, where's Kim? The lieutenant is no longer here. Go outside. To the beach. What? What? I don't think I'm awake right now. I think I'm... The door is still here, closed. Feels strange somehow. You can't get in. Something's wrong. Am I supposed to go down there, maybe? Oh yeah, there you go. Where's Kim? Go down the chain. There's something there. Where's the chain? Is this the chain? No, where's the chain? Ah. Walk into the water. Now. What? You hear her footprints on the water. Further. What?
Dolores Day, the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state turns around to face you. She has an airship airbag in her hand. She seems to be in a hurry. Okay, don't say you need to talk right away. Melt the ice first. This way you're already talking.
The video reversal. Oh, okay.
But you don't even want to talk to her. She would only be cold and mean. Let her go. Let her go? This is the holy queen of the territories of Muindi and Insulinda. Think of the historic knowledge we could glean. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win her back.
Win her back?
Win her back? How does that fit in here? And what is the Holy Suzerain doing here anyway?
Hang on. Okay. Let me get my head around this. Because we've had a number of references to Harry's ex-wife. Both of them hurting each other and leaving each other. Their relationship falling apart, and that's one of the sort of precipitative factors for Harry. For some reason, I think he's got his partner and this Dolores Day, the innocence of humanism. I think he's kind of melded them in his mind together. We know that every time we interact with anything to do with Dolores Day, Volition tells us to back off immediately. I really want to click through some of these options. But maybe I need to trust Volition. Or maybe I just need to call it out. I'm going to call it out. Something's off.
I'm sorry. I was heading to the aerodrome. I just don't have time to...
She stops mid-sentence, glances to her right, then looks at her bag.
She means she doesn't have time to tend to your emotions.
It probably doesn't hurt to ask where she's going, right? And then we can... Where are you going?
I'm going to Morova. To live there, in Grad. It's 1 million kilometers away, Harry. Might as well be another lifetime.
I'm not going to say you don't have time to tend to my emotions. That's just going to hurt both of us. I could say hey, but I don't think we're already talking. We don't need that. What's in the bag? No, I think we let her go. Go. Goodbye.
Is what you want to say.
Shit.
But you don't. Hammers clang in the distance. Children laugh.
I want to go. Oh, God damn it. Everything was fine already.
The light from the video rental casts shadows on the ground. She turns her face, and it's illuminated by it. Red and cyan. I can't help you. I'm totally useless. Everything I've said is lies. I want the exact same bad things you want. To stand here, like a pillar of salt, saying...
Go. Goodbye. Let me see if I can push through.
Is what you want to say.
I want to go.
Where? There's water all around.
Damn it.
I can't help you.
Shit.
I'm totally useless. Everything I've said is lies. I want the exact same bad things you want. To stand here, like a pillar of salt, saying...
Hey.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm doing really good, actually. Both professionally and romantically. I've come to a fulfilling and peaceful period in my life. Well, how are you doing, Harry?
I'm in my head. I miss you.
Well, I'm in my head too. We're all in our heads.
Okay, I'll go back into mine then.
She doesn't reply. You're back in your head. There's silence. This is everything I always warned you about.
What's in the bag?
Just my scepter, my globe cruciger, a spare silk gown, a toothbrush, travel documents, the crown of immortality.
Cool.
She looks at the suitcase, not knowing what more to say, then over her shoulder.
Anyway,
This is the dream we've been warned about. Inland Empire said, I always warned you. Inland Empire's been warning us about a dream. The worst dream, the final dream coming. Actually, so has the limbic system and ancient reptilian brain. I think this is that dream. Can't you stay for a moment? We need to talk. We need to have one more epic, massive showdown.
No, Harry. No. I don't want a massive, epic showdown. I want to go to the aerodrome. I have tickets for the 10:20 flight to Morova. Really, we don't have anything to talk about anymore. Every combination of words has been played out. The atoms don't form us anymore. Us, our love, our unborn daughters. It's all gone. I have to go to the aerodrome. I have to leave Revachol and you. And you have to be alone. In hell, forever. That's just the way it is.
Oh God, whatever you do, don't try to kiss her yet. Not after that. You're still reeling. You'll fall over if you try now.
I get the feeling you're not really Dolores Day.
I don't know what you mean. Dolores Day?
She looks at you quizzically. Does not seem like a mystery she wants to get into. You're the X something.
Wasn't I Dolores Day just a second ago? Now I'm the X thing? You're confusing me. Look, I have to be at the Lausanne Aerodrome at 10:20 p.m. I still have a light rail to catch. I haven't even bought the tickets yet.
We all told you. Everyone warned you.
Who, everyone?
Everyone. Literally all of you.
I'm glad we're having this conversation. I'm getting so much closure.
I'm glad too, but I have to go. My friends are waiting for me on the platform. I can't let them wait. It's impolite.
What?
Say nothing. Just look at her. No, we do not fix this situation. We do not make it any better by saying anything. We have to just let her go. There's nothing we can do here that's not going to hurt both of us. We just have to let her go. Say nothing. Just look at her.
She does not look back. Instead, eyes her fingernails. They're bitten, frayed.
Yeah.
The evening wind blows in. The gown wraps around her like a white flag.
On second, well, there's no other way out of this bit, so I'm going to have to say this, but obviously never, ever, ever, I would never say this. On second thought, you're Dolores Day, Queen Regent of the territories of Mundi and Insulinde, and nothing else.
Yes, Harry. I am. Things have gotten much better for me, now that I am the ruler of the known world. Oh God, it's already so late. I have to go, Harry.
A tiny golden watch with red straps around her bony little wrists.
I've taken a new responsibility for my actions now. I'm a new man, weighty and normal.
She doesn't know what to say.
I'm so fucking normal right now.
Yes, okay. I'm glad.
I mean, I'm a moralist. The other moralists almost took me away on their airship. I'm not a broken, insane man who can't live without you. I know I made mistakes and I've taken full responsibility for all of them. So you can live with me again if you want to. I'm better now.
It doesn't sound like you're better at all, Harry. It doesn't even sound like you're a moralist. It just sounds like you want to win me back or something. I don't want you to try that anymore, okay? It's too sad. I need to go.
Total annihilation. We got annihilated, Harry. It wasn't about responsibility at all. It was always only about you having no power at all. Over her, yourself, anything. That's why they didn't take you on that airship. You're insane without her.
Empathy? What the hell? There's no way out of this. There are no options which can get us out of this. We're just going to have to sit through this. Don't go.
No, don't say it. Don't beg. It will only make her go.
No, I don't have questions first. Although, if I click this, what happens? Wait, yes, I have other questions first. Where's the list?
Yes, somewhere hidden among the options popping up in your nervous system is the right one. That will make her love you again.
No.
And not go to the aerodrome at all.
No. Sometimes things are over. And that's just the way it is. What happens now?
Nothing. I have to go. I'm gonna go now.
Yep. This is the only way out. Yep.
I was wrong. You don't have power over her anymore. You shouldn't have said that. I am wrong about everything. You should go on without me.
Authority says you have sworn a holy oath, Harry. She herself begged you not to let her go. No. Okay, I understand. Nod silently like a martyr.
No, you don't. You're just being a martyr. And I'm really going now. The time is up. I must be on the 10:20 flight.
Will we ever see each other again?
I won't see you, but you will see me.
How can that be?
Oh, Harry. This is a dream. Can't you see? I'm already in Morova by now. Who knows how long ago this happened? A year? 2? 5 years ago?
How will I see you again then?
Right here, tomorrow night. Once this dream starts happening, it keeps happening.
Yeah.
3 times a week, at least. And Harry, it really, really looks like it started happening again. There's the video rental. I'm suffocatingly beautiful. And young. And I smell of tutti frutti chewing gum. Like I did that time when I asked you for forgiveness. After leaving you the first time. So long ago.
But this is intolerably bad.
Oh yes, this is real darkness. It's not death or war or child molestation. Real darkness has love for a face. The first death is in the heart, Harry.
The writing of this game sometimes.
See you tomorrow.
Oh god. No wonder Harry is the way he is, if that's what he has to live through 3 nights a week. Ah, Harry. Ah, Harry.
You're up quick. How was your sleep?
Just spit out the blood and get back to work. You're a badass like that.
Okay.
He replies simply.
He's still worried. You must have really thrashed and squealed in your sleep.
Yeah. Oh, man. This game sometimes. It's too real. Just gonna steal money from here. Oh, boy.
Green paint flicks off the monoblock aluminium cabinet. There are rows of switches on the front panel, a frequency band, and even a keyboard.
Run your fingers across the keyboard.
The keys rattle like teeth. This keyboard hasn't been functional in decades.
What is this then?
The console of an anti-computation device. The generator upstairs, with wires coming out, they terminate here.
What does this console do?
Urgence, ouvert, allumé, radiodiffusé. Sounds like this device was used to control the electronics here. Maybe it still does.
This device was used to control the electronics in the room. It could open doors, control lights, function as a radio computer.
Turn emergency open?
We need to restore power
Oh.
before using this, officer. The generator, it didn't look like there was fuel in it. We should look around outside. There are barrels all over. Maybe one of them still has something in it.
He looks into the dim light to his right.
The boat engine.
Not in agreement. We're not going to take it from the boat engine.
The console looks on as you talk, mute and unpowered. Its dials are covered in dust.
Yeah, let's leave for the moment. His hatch is jammed shut. Hidden beneath the stairs. Yeah, it's giving me lots of morale healing, but I wouldn't mind some health healing. A firing slit. You can't see inside. Oh, this is the path we took before. Must have been a direct hit to take out such a huge chunk. Distant sound of cargo ships. Signal horns echo on the water. The reeds sway strangely. No, it's nothing. Well, that makes me think it's something for sure. I want to head down this way, just see if there's anything. Oh, yeah. The ice cracks under your feet. Be careful not to fall through. Let's head up over this way. The winch is broken. Rust has eaten what remains of the chain.
A strange feeling looking at the water. Maybe you should just wander off into the sea. Leave it all and walk in.
Why?
Perhaps there's someone there, under the water, waiting for you. Where it has always been. In front of the video rental, on the corner, at smelling of tutti frutti and betrayal.
But it's cold.
Yes, cold and still. But love is warm, like the inside of her mouth.
No.
Yes. No. We're not starting with that. Not now. Not this time. This thought is over.
Raise your sight.
In the still mirror of the bay, you see Martinez, reflected. Tall edifices of ruins reach into the water, like shimmering towers. And the shacks too. Pine trees and motor lorries, upside down. Islets and posts, like stepping stones, lead into the water in front of you. Go. Step in. It's been too long.
No. We're not entertaining that thought for a second longer. One place we came down and explored along here, because this is where our dream took us. Can we head up here? Oh yeah. The pain in your pelvis makes you wince. Then you continue. The inside of the fortress. You make out the console and the blast door. No way to jump down here without breaking a few bones. Ah, fuel. The depot that supplied this chain is long gone from the coast. A weathered artillery map showing coordinates in the Bay of Revachol. An old medicine cabinet, newly stocked with Dramamine. Oh, that'll be good. Yes, please.
There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits like two eyes in the wall.
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to shoot from.
Oh my goodness, it is. This is the sniper's nest. Inspect the mattress.
A single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Brand name, Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, along with cigarette burns.
Yeah, this is it. We found it.
And an empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarette butts.
Pick one out of the can. It's going to be that old brand. I'm calling it now. What was it called?
The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand, Tio Moteri.
Tio Moteri, like the ones we found at Land's End, remember?
I may have been wrong when I said it wasn't important. This means the same person could have visited both locations. I didn't see any signs of smoking inside, though. If people live there, they keep it tidy. This here may also be a smoking spot.
Inspect the wall.
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window.
Let's touch the concrete first.
Quite old and grimy, from years without cleaning by anything other than the rain.
All right, moment of truth. Let's look through the hole in the concrete. Let's see if we can see Glacier's window.
The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out. Trepidation. A tingling feeling in your stomach. A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. 1 kilometer across the water. The ruins look familiar.
On the left?
A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside apartments. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A and 33B.
And right.
The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the whirling in rags. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 10. The doomed commercial area.
And between the two?
The box-shaped silhouette of the whirling in rags. Its sloped roof, a tiny fleck of light catches your eye on the rooftop. Sunlight reflecting off the upstairs window of Clausia's room.
There it is.
Do you have a line of sight to the window?
More than that,
Kim, with a pair of binoculars, I would be able to see inside the room.
A pair of binoculars? Or a scope of a rifle? You'd be prone, lying on a mattress, barrel resting on the embrasure.
cheek against the cheek rest, hand on the hair trigger, on a calm day like this.
Kim, I could make it. I could make the shot.
Good. I think we have it, Detective. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest.
Affirmative.
Booyah, master cop work.
It's only moderately effective cop work until we have the weapon. It will not be, how do you say it, booyah, until we have that.
Could the shooter still be here?
Where?
On this island?
He does not answer, just nods. With his back hunched, he looks around once more and says,
We should move now.
We did it. Let's just get Kim out of the way so we can pick up this can and get the fuel. $50, $48.86. It's fantastic. If only we still needed money, but we're sort of long past that now. You feel eyes on your back. Someone's watching, but you can't say where. This guy is a sniper, remember? Long-distance shooter. Ugh, yikes. Water rushes below. Far below. Alright, let's refuel the generator. Oh, before we go, let's check this thing first, eh? This great blast door must weigh over 10 tons. Rust peels off it. We know we can't get out that door. It's already told us we need to refuel the generator and open the doors. Oh, if we've got some extra points...
This old cylindrical generator waits with its fuel cap open.
Pour fuel in the tank.
The lieutenant assists you, holding the canister up to the fuel tank as you tilt. Dark brown, viscous fluid pours out, and the room fills with a chemical smell. There's a red starter switch on the side of the cylinder and a start rope on the other side. The lieutenant flicks the switch.
Pull the rope.
The recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters like an old warhorse before settling down to a rattle.
That should do it.
Oh yeah, we could bump up conceptualization to unlock that check again. See the stuff that's out of... Yeah, let's give it a go. We've got the spare... got the spare point. Let's go. May as well give it a go.
Soft covers, serialized fantastique, and detective story. Oh yes, under the bed, there is a rather extensive collection of critical theory. That is, dour, life non-affirming left-wing literature, published by small imprints such as Abattoir Firm and Ouzia. It's not exactly like reading.
Look, Kim, deranged commie ranting.
Ouzia. I agree. Humanitarian sciences. It stands out. Not a lot of critical theory around in Ravachol West.
Your incendiary remark has failed to provoke him.
Damn it.
Wasn't there some in the communist student's room?
A student in the apartment building seemed to have some as well.
Well, yes. That one student did.
The little books seem inconsequential next to the big pile of frivolous entertainment covering them.
Critical theory books. What do you think this means?
Again, I am not a philosopher, but whoever has lived here, they have some education and a certain set of interests.
And they were a communist. Communism killed him. Oh my god, it's all come together. Inland Empire was right from the very beginning about all the information it's told us. It's a bit spooky.
Interesting.
Oh.
It's clear you like the hard stuff, Brota.
Do what? Sounds like my stomach's growling.
Evening falls. The time has come to take the vow.
Vow?
The vows are blood and flesh.
What is my lower intestine going on about?
Lower intestine? The term is metabolic and circulatory system.
Oh, alright, okay, but what's the hard stuff?
Fascism, Brota.
What is fascism, though?
Many things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut. Who does your gut tell you is the source of Revachol's problems?
But it's a muesli. I'm loving the pronunciation on some of these. Who does my gut tell me is the source of Revachol's problems? I thought you were my circulatory system.
Quit stalling, Bruta. We're talking about the weakest, worst, most insane thing. The weak link.
Well, if it's fascism, they're going to hate liberals, so I guess we're saying liberals.
Yes, them. But also...
Also...
women.
Women?
Women. Men of wood. You don't like them. They're insane. Their idiocy needs to be scrubbed off this world with rubbing alcohol. Woo men need to go back to the fucking kitchen.
This is the most incredible takedown of fascism I've ever seen.
That's what fascism boils down to.
Yep.
The rest is also important. But the main thing is that woo men need to know their place.
Oh my god. Am I having some sort of stomach seizure?
Stomach truth. You're having a stomach truth.
Why am I getting this?
Because you've said the hard things that others won't say. The good things.
The good
You've said them many times.
Fascism sounds so bad though. What if we called it something else, like traditionalism?
Okay. Yes. Let's call it that. Good thinking.
Oh my god.
That sounds much better. Traditionalism. You like the sound of that.
Oh my god. Alright, Stomach, I've made up my mind about fascism.
You're going to keep your vooz, right? Keep your vooz, Brota.
Absolutely not. I'm not going to be played by an upset stomach.
There's a slow, painful growl somewhere in your intestines, knocking on your alcohol-engorged liver. It is one of betrayal and disappointment.
Okay. Yeah. Obviously I'm not getting down with fascism, or sexism, or racism. To be honest, most isms. Not a fan.
A dim golden glow animates the console. Faint, like a ghost light. Urgence ouvert reads one dial key. Allumer reads another.
It's on. Turn emergency open.
Automatic boot.
Could you just open a blast door?
I think, yes. Let's see. That one. The emergency open.
I'm going to slide the radio dial first. I want to know what this person's listening to on their radio.
The dial slides under the dusty glass, dark and silent, despite the power being on. You make out defunct stations on the UKV frequency. The words, Feld Insula, are written on the band.
Isn't that what the communists took from Feld? They confiscated the Feld computers? Is that what this is?
Insular. This is an off-air radio computer, I believe, used for military communications.
It's an air-gapped system, an off-air military model. Its circuits are nearly impossible to bend, i.e., it cannot be remote-controlled.
Let's push light interior.
The lighting in the room turns on with a sizzle, a dim ambient orange.
All right, let's open the emergency door.
The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in.
Oh wow, yeah, it's really opening up. I probably should turn the lights off before I go. Although, maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll illuminate something we can see. Did we pick up a level up, by the way? I think we just did. Okay, yeah, it's really opening up. Fair enough.
After you.
Before, outside, when we were walking across the sand, I felt someone watching me.
So did I. Not back there, but I felt it since we came here.
What's there? Point to the door.
I don't know.
A thin wisp of smoke rises from a charred black fire pit. The wind picks up, then dies down again.
What if we get into another fight, Kim?
Don't worry. I have a gun.
He takes out his sidearm, checks the barrel, then holsters it again. I also have a gun.
I know. It was not easy to acquire.
Let's go. True, we actually have, we've got a gun and 2 bullets. So if we get into too much trouble... Oh, hello. Walk slow. It might be dangerous. Agreed. Now, we did pick up another level up. Do we want to level up any more of our skills? Could boost pain threshold up by 1. Maybe? Do I want to do that though? Let's leave it. Let's see. See what we need. We might need to give 2 goes at something. Yeah, let's walk slowly. Here. I'm gonna just click on these orbs as we go around. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna walk slowly. I have a bad feeling about this. A rubber dinghy. It's deflated, broken. Small white flowers blossom all around you. Maybells by any chance? Okay. Here we are. Hello, sir.
An old man wearing tracksuit trousers leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth.
The deserter.
Then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours. Unclouded by cataracts, his eyesight is sharp. He's practically tearing up from spite. Hatred got the best of him a long time ago. This man hates everything.
Okay. Are you the fire guy?
The what now? I can't hear you.
Did you recently tell 2 kids to put out their fire? 2 twins?
I may have. All sorts of little rats have come sniffing around, trying to give up the position.
The position? Sounds like a hiding place.
It's military.
Fire guy. Regressive bourgeoisie henchman. Can't even talk like a grown-up.
You've retained your eyesight.
My eyesight? Yes. Helps me see all the shit.
Did you close the blast door?
I did. And you opened it. How?
I fueled a generator, then used a console.
I should have burned that console down.
How did you know I was coming?
Reactionary rock and roll music. Playing on the water.
Whoops.
Told you we shouldn't play sad FM.
I'm gonna say nothing.
The fascists were right about rock and roll. It is degenerate. Hip gyrating mental illness music.
This guy is gonna be a blast to talk to. Nice gun you got there.
It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it gets the job done.
Is that a Bell Margrave?
It's a Triangong 446.
Southeast Samaran made. Exotic. Must be defunct too. No modern rifle manufacturer of that name springs to mind.
A Samaran rifle. How did you get hold of one?
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Sinyao commune. Military aid.
It has stayed true to him. He can still make it sing.
The Sinyao commune.
You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk wiped from the board.
His gaze turns inward.
He's right. Almost no one remembers there was a third metastasis of the world revolution in the Safre Empire, extinguished in 06.
It's not white from the board. I remember it.
They wouldn't like hearing their name in your mouth. Damn dog.
Right, okay. Your weapon has stayed true to you. Mine has stayed true to me too. I'll pat my hand on my belt.
Yes, I bet you've killed a lot of people with it. You fascist fuck.
Hey, I just rejected fascism, thank you very much.
Have you come to make me one of them?
His grip on the rifle tightens.
His right eye twitches. With what? Fear? Rage?
We have come to ask you questions. Nothing more.
The lieutenant puts his hand on his holster.
If you do not comply, we will take you in. Do you understand?
Another spitball lands in the ashes. That's all the answer he gives. I'm with the police. You can keep the gun, but keep it down. No one move.
No.
The lieutenant aims his pistol square at the man's head and says,
Put it down now, sir.
Or you're gonna blow my brains out before you question me. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway. It's out of bullets.
The old man lays the rifle down carelessly, then looks at it lying there.
He stares on, his wrinkled mouth moving without a sound. A strange sadness, like a song.
What did you say?
The future teaches you to be alone.
The present.
The present.
The present to be afraid and cold.
The old man pulls back the hood of his plastic cape and looks up into the sky. It's blue-grey, the same colour as the sea. Those words, the future teaches you.
Real music. Real Prolet Cult. That's La Revacholière, not your rock and roll misanthropy. Chanson de soldat of the black and whites.
Marching song. Forget about that for a moment. You need to address that remark first.
I know, La Revacholière. It's the marching song of the World Revolution.
There you go. 1 of 3. In Grad, they sang Brave Children, Favourites of History. And in Signal, it was... some Samaran shit, I guess.
Oh, La Revacholière, that's what the city called herself when we had that Shivers dream in the church. La Revacholière, I've heard that name somewhere else, in a dream.
Everyone has. They named a fucking perfume after it.
No, that's not it. I've talked to her.
Talk to her?
He raises his bushy brow and looks down from the sky, straight into your bloodshot eyes. Yeah, I get these cold spells.
It's the drugs you're all on. Druggies, whiners, and whores.
He closes his eyes in disgust.
All around you, the air slowly circulates the islet, carrying little swallows and black-beaked seagulls in its slow drift. They all, every one of them, every bird, mammal, and crustacean.
What?
Keep their distance.
Oh, okay. How does it go, the song?
How did it go?
He looks at his gun on the ground and shakes his head slowly.
Something about shooting rabbits. I don't know. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. It's gone now.
He waves erratically with his hand, annoyed that he can't remember. A little tremor passes through him. It was dear to him. He resents forgetting it.
I'm going to pick up the gun lying in the sand.
His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand, frame stocked and patched in places with tape and wire.
Hey, can you guys see something moving up in the north of the map? Is that a bird flapping its wings? Just in the reeds. Yeah, I think it's a bird flapping. Okay.
Still warm from his parched hands. Not the metal. The metal is ice cold. This weapon has been modified several times.
Let's inspect it closer.
The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm, made of walnut. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangong, 4.46mm, made in Signal.
It's as he said, it's a Triangong, made in his Signal.
No one said it has to be a Belmagrave. We were just guessing.
From ballistics, it could easily have been a Triangong, too.
It doesn't matter if it was made in Shanti. All it has to do is use jacketed ammunition. And it does.
Yes, it does, Kim. 4.46.
The right type and the right calibre.
The lieutenant nods, glancing at the gun.
He's liking this.
The rifle's been patched and modified several times as well, Kim.
I wonder how old it is.
The old man does not answer. He just stares in front of him.
Stow the gun.
The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. His right arm twitches suddenly. Some kind of involuntary response. This looks very much like the murder weapon. It can be used against him to get a confession. in time.
Sorry, the thing reaction speed was trying to say was something is slightly off with his motorics. I bumped it, my bad. Who are you?
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross, Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol.
He's one of the communist soldiers. He's been here the whole time.
I am a deserter,
Yep.
a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
His eyes turned to the reeds again, dead and dull.
The commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? You're a holdover from the...
From the Insulindian Citizens Militia, the army of the revolution.
Yep.
I was recruited in Jamrock in 07, trained in the École de Contrôle Orient, and consigned to emergency defense duties in 08.
Communism killed Lely, the last communist soldier in Revachol.
I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
You've been on this island for 43 years.
No. I've been on other islands, too.
Okay, obviously. He looks into the fire. A wisp of smoke rises from somewhere between the charred logs.
I was an resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was an E-48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago.
You said you deserted your unit.
I was just 16 years old. 15 when I volunteered. I had a lapse of faith. And of courage, too.
Lapse of faith?
You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovian socioeconomics were fallible. For a second, I doubted the irreducible laws of historic materialism. A second is all it took.
For what?
For reaction to take hold.
What's reaction?
Petty bourgeois terror. It's in all men.
It wasn't reaction, you were just afraid.
It's the same thing. You haven't seen it. Not really. Not naked. It's impossible not to be afraid.
It remains unclear what it is. He makes leaps he doesn't expect you to follow.
And this was... when?
The lieutenant instinctively looks to his notebook, but does not take it out. Kim has recorded absolutely everything, including all of the Phasmid stuff, and he's not recording this in his notebook. That's really interesting.
He is still not convinced of his safety.
Okay, fair enough.
You should not be either.
Okay, fair.
May the 13th, 08, 44 years ago. The horizon was black with coalition airships. Their petroleum rose to the sky, and it looked like it formed the clouds, storm clouds. When they started shelling, it was dark magic.
Dark magic?
The combined might of international capital. All at once, all the greed and terror in the world tore into Revachol. It lifted streets from the ground and turned houses into ghosts. We were in the flak tower, huddled on the floor. The artillery was 80 kilometers away in Ozon, but I knew the commune would fall. We would all be turned into ash. So I said I was going to the map room.
A terrible shame, still within him. The lobes of his ears are red with it. The shame and smallness of what he became.
You didn't go to the map room?
No. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland. in the bunkers there, like the weakest of the weak. A mouse, frightened of the ordnance all night, and the sound of the rotors in the morning, whirring.
What was that?
Airships. I climbed out into hell. The landing was complete. The chain was submerged. I had to swim back. The fortress was half submerged too, shattered. They'd all drowned in the lower levels, or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. So had I. I left them without ideological direction. It was real. I'd seen it. I'd seen it in reality.
Seen what?
The mask of humanity fall from capital. It has to take it off to kill everyone, everything you love. All the hope and tenderness in the world. It has to take it off just for 1 second to do the deed. And then you see it, as it strangles and beats your friends to death. The sweetest, most courageous people in the world. You see the fear and power in its eyes. Then you know.
What?
That the bourgeois are not human.
I'm going to say nothing. I'll let him finish.
I had to. I had to fight it. I had to never stop.
The old man falls silent. His black eyes keep piercing your skin as he looks to some great distance behind you, shaking his head slowly, retreating from it. What is this place, this island?
It's not an island, Dwat. It's a defensive fortification of the commune of Revachol. And I am its last surviving defender.
We know what it was used for. Understood.
Mm-hmm.
How have you survived all this time?
How does anyone survive? I steal.
What do you steal?
Supplies, vegetables. I collect rainwater. It's the life of a dog, not a human being.
He coughs once more, then puts his hand on his belly.
How is your health, Mr. Dross?
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot. Been passing it in stool, too.
He does seem frail. Gaunt for his age. More like 75 than 65. Trouble putting on weight could mean cancer.
The RCM can provide medical services. You need to be looked over.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy guns.
We have Dramamine and other opioid-based painkillers. You must be in pain.
I have been running out of that stuff.
A light goes on in his eyes. He smacks his dry lips. This is a serious situation. You need to be looked over, and we can do it.
There's nothing to look over. The triage is in, and it's black. Administer morphine. Moribund.
How have you coped mentally? We know the answer to that. He's not. He's fucking insane.
I haven't.
Yeah.
I have holes in my brain. Years missing. Others filled with pain only. A decade of...
His eyes roll into his skull and back.
I don't even know what. Inferno?
You notice the lieutenant is about to say something. Yeah, I'll let the lieutenant go.
I would imagine it gets tremendously difficult, mentally, to live in isolation.
Traitors. It's better alone. I watch the people of this city turn the lights back on, more and more each year. Ruins, glimmering in the dark, like a fucking merry-go-round. It's disgusting.
He looks down at his shoes, his face parched from the sun and the wind. There's a wince of pain in there somewhere.
Are they not heartbroken? How could they have moved on?
How have you concealed yourself all these years?
It was hard in the Thames. I didn't have partisan training. They were searching for stragglers, those bloodhounds. Floodlights on the water at night.
There were posters. Campaigns.
We communards still hoped, and they needed to snuff that hope out. The East capitulated. Martinez and Cold City were turned to dust. But Jamrock, Forburg, even Coron, and Boogie Street, of course. Those fucking kips had Marsoff coursing through their veins. And others too. Some cordons of Revachol was still fighting. There were cells. I tried to contact them. Soon they all went silent. The frequencies dead.
How did you get between here and the mainland?
At night, I used a dinghy. I only went after dark then. When I got to the city, I stayed underground. Patrols, you lot, the commons too. They'd started snitching.
In the city, you move underground?
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted.
He falls silent, his gaze fixed on the shacks huddled together across the water. Why don't you just walk there?
I don't want to. They're all traitors. Pigs, rabbits, and dogs. Men without ideals are only animals.
He does not want to see life moving on. People forgetting, drinking, laughing.
The weapons cache under St. Ghislaine, 22B, in a basement. Have you been there?
So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Belmer graves, right?
They were damaged beyond use.
I know.
So you've been there?
Sleeping. Some nights. Ammo scrounging on others. Those McGraves were shit, even before they corroded. Some had bullets in the chamber, however.
You feel the dots connecting. Little dots on the map he's walked across. Wait, how did he get down there?
How did you access the building? It's locked, at least now it is.
I didn't have to. Came in through the storm drains.
Storm drains?
There used to be a system that connected the bunkers, tunnels and such, under the church and everywhere. Most of them are gone now, collapsed, just bricks. All the old infrastructure has...
There's a small bunker under the Feld building. Have you stayed there?
The propaganda bunker. I used to, but not anymore.
Propaganda bunker?
They stored leaflets there. Broadcasting equipment, too. Made broadcasts, I think. Propaganda officers. I buried them with their leaflets. They killed themselves. 2 young boys.
Killed themselves?
A lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them. No need to go underground anymore. It's better in the ruins, on the ground.
One more question. Do you smoke Tiamotiri cigarettes?
I do.
Ever smoked them on the mainland? I'll point to Land's End.
They're good. Plenty of tar. I like that boy on the pack, too. Reminds me of the last century.
That's a yes. Tell me another thing.
The old man looks across the water, at the city, the ruins, the motorways rising above it.
Again, you've been hiding here for 43 years.
43 years and 10 months.
That's steadfast.
It's not how a human being should live. But I had to. I couldn't just forget. I couldn't just forget what I saw.
He just couldn't.
You couldn't give it up.
He nods. But he can now.
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
He looks across the water. He's waiting for the return.
Where the afternoon grows late, on Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, people walk home. Street lights will soon be lit. Further inland, the streets are alive with workers, men, women, children, street hawks and migrant laborers. The temperature is steady. Alto cumulus clouds form above Precinct 41. Two police officers step out of the Whirling in Rags cafeteria. Satellite officer Jean-Vic Mayer inspects a series of burnt black letters splashed across the plaza mosaic. Patrol officer Judith Minot points west. The fishing village. She glances at her watch. We meet in 15 minutes. It's a 10-minute walk. The officers go, leaving behind the writing, still smoldering. One day, it says, I will return to your side.
Always waiting.
The old man turns his eyes from the shore and back to you. For what?
For her to return.
Her who?
Girl child. Revolution.
I come from there, point to the mainland. I can assure you that is not what the people are planning.
I am not a fool. I know. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The working class has betrayed mankind. The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore, however hard I try, whatever I do.
What has he done? Perhaps a confession will lighten the load.
What have you done then?
Yes, what? To get things going again? Fan the flame?
There is no flame to fan. There is nothing left of the world, of our dreams.
You said this is your termless surrender.
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol.
We're not coalition appointed, or we are though. We enforce the law, we keep these animals from killing each other. We're with the RCM, let's leave it at that.
Let's. You represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary, le Parti Communiste dans le Monde. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
His hand shakes and he breaks into a coughing fit.
A spray of blood from his mouth on the black charcoal in the fire pit.
Oh boy.
Rene, the royalist on the coast, said,
The communards signed the Revachol instrument of surrender.
Liberal reactionaries signed that instrument. Traitors who should have been burned alive. I answer to the Communist Party.
Okay.
Is that part of why you've been here all this time? Because the party didn't surrender?
100% Kim.
He just wipes the blood from his chin.
Understood.
I don't think you did. You live in a delusion. Radio shows, speed racing and sporting goods. It's not real.
But it is. So you're a communist soldier from a communist army?
No, I am not a soldier. I am an ideological officer. I belong to the party, not the army.
But you said you were trained and assigned to the Defense Corps.
Trained in historical materialism, then assigned as a political commissar by the party. These things used to mean something.
Wait, what does a political commissar do?
The old man does not answer. He tilts his silver head and looks at the reeds. You see a small tremor pass through his legs.
His job was to assure the army answers to civilian control and follows the ideology of the Commune.
Right.
Scientific communism. A commissaire politique is a night philosopher of the revolution, a future human.
Awakened from shutdown by the promise of ideology, he was like a cleric, a shepherd.
So you were like a priest?
No, the opposite of that. A future human, not a human of the past.
That means you're a trained communist, right?
He nods slowly, then another tremor.
I'm going to say nothing. I have another serious question for you.
There's nothing serious in this world.
What have you been using
It's
this...
a farce.
Sorry. What have you been using this gun for?
I've used it for killing people.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I haven't done that. I've used it to kill people.
Interesting. During or after the war?
The war never ended for him, Kim.
There is no
Yep.
after the war. Class war is never over.
So he's continued killing after hostilities ended. Okay. This is it. You can feel it, like battery acid on the tip of your tongue. Something you haven't felt in a while. But
what?
this is what you live for. This is the shit. The solution. Go in straight. No euphemisms. He doesn't like those. No. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
Wait, so which one do I say then?
Nothing comes to you. Silence. His black eyes look at you, and in them a chill, like electricity running up your spine, crawling into your skull.
What?
All is not as it seems.
What?
Detective.
The lieutenant turns to you with well-disguised impatience.
Damn it. Ask it already, he wants to say.
So you're saying you killed people after active fighting stopped? No, let's just go straight out. I'm gonna go straight out. Oh, but Shivers says all is not as it seems. So you're saying you killed people after active fighting stopped?
What did I just say?
He keeps shaking his head erratically suddenly. He brushes something out of his eye.
What did I just tell you? Don't drop the ball now.
Did you use that gun to shoot and kill a colonel of the security contractor Crenell?
The who now?
He leans in and cups his ear.
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part. Right choice. We're in. Do it, sire.
His name was Elias Courtenay. He was part of a security detail here in Martinez.
Oh, yes. That one. Ugly piece of work, that boy.
Did you kill him?
The lieutenant takes a sudden step toward him.
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
A drop of blood in the saliva. Exhaust him with proof. Pile it all on him. Get a confession. The gun. The murder weapon is the perfect opener. The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember. Something about the tracks. Suddenly, all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first.
We've done the ballistics. Shot came from this island.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession.
The lieutenant softens his voice.
You've been here a long time, Mr. Druss. Too long. You clearly need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascists for fascists. Done his part. Just one thing remains unclear. The rifle does not seem to have a scope.
One thing, where's the scope? How did you make the shot without a scope? We have everything else.
Forget about your stupid fucking scope. I don't know where it is. Find it yourself. It's your problem now.
No.
He lost it. He just doesn't know where it is. Forget it. Push on.
The view was perfect. With a pair of binoculars, I could have seen in the room.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
Another sudden twitch, then one more in his right eye.
Almost. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments. Anything.
I don't need your cooperation. I got this. I'll show him the Triangon.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistols. I've seen you prance around with those. Jumping hoops for the liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons, eh? Going against automatic rifles with a flame bomb. Of course you got all those boys killed.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen. He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. It's not just empty boasting. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
Yes, Felician. Stop changing the subject. We have the murder weapon.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
I'm going to dramatically ask. No, I'm going to say, I'm calling it. We have the murder weapon.
Good.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and draws a single line.
This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Murder.
The old man does not say more. He just glances into the reeds, then twitches once more.
Like a marionette on some invisible string.
What?
This pushed him, but not enough. Just a little more.